welcome back to Richard's Workshop. My name is Stacy Rowan. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about something called piezoelectricity. And if you don't know what piezoelectricity is, it's an electrical charge that's produced by compressing certain types of minerals and objects. It happens in crystals, and it happens in bone. And it's the bone that I want to focus on today. Now, the first time I had ever heard about this exercise, what I'm about to show you, teach you, I was in my early 20s, and I had found a book on magic. I think it was just mostly someone made up spells. One of the exercises was a method of clearing a space, maybe a room or a building or a home. The exercise consisted of this idea of squeezing as hard as you could every bone of your body. So just basically pulling yourself in towards your center, not just your mass, but everything. So you're squeezing into your leg bones and your arm bones and your ribs and your spine and all the bones of the body that you can find with your mind, and squeeze them. And did that as hard as I could. I'll tell you the story here in a minute. But you just squeeze as hard as you can, and then you imagine pushing out. And that would, according to this person, clear space. So I'm in my early 20s, and I know because of what I'm about to tell you happened. I was working at a movie theater, and I was a doorman, and I was walking into one of the actual theaters. The movie was out, and it was a good 25 feet or so away from a cash register, around a corner with a concrete wall, and the theater was in a basement, so behind that wall there was nothing but earth. But I'm in this theater, and I decided to try this exercise. And I had no purpose behind it, I just wanted to see what it was like. And so I squeezed as hard as I could on every muscle, on every bone that I could imagine. And when I felt ready, I expressed, I pushed out, and I let it go. And the moment I did that, the cash register behind me was beeping, and there was a wooden door I had to go through to go out and look. And the manager came downstairs, and they asked what happened, and I said, I don't know, I was in a movie theater. And they had to unplug it to get it to stop beeping, and it was a fried piece of equipment. I can't tell you for sure that I did that, but that's the timeline that happened. That I did this exercise that created a piezoelectric charge. I pushed that piezoelectric charge out of me, and this happened. Now that makes this kind of the disclaimer is, be warned. I don't want you to try this in your home. I don't want you to fry your equipment, your computers, your watches, your smartphones. That makes no sense. Try this away from things. Practice it. Squeezing one or two bones and getting that feel isn't going to really create as strong of a charge. But when you start talking about squeezing the femur, there's a lot of potential in that large bone. The pelvis the same way. Squeezing the larger bones, I would imagine by definition, is going to get you more charge because there's more of something to compress there. Now, that being said, this is also taught in the martial arts. I have a feeling, and I don't know, I don't think people talk about it, but it's the cause of what we've seen as Bruce Lee's one-inch punch. That he's no distant from his opponent, and he strikes, and his opponent is moved further than he should be, then you can imagine with a 1-inch punch. Now, in the martial arts, in Tai Chi, this is taught later. It's not something that you start with. You want to know how to move your mind through your body before you start moving Jing, which is what the charge is called in Chinese medicine. Different than the Jing of the body's qi. And I believe that. I don't think that they are the same thing. That being said, Jing is the body's qi, and it resides in the marrow of the bone. And if you squeeze the bone, you can release the marrow into the bloodstream, and the marrow contains things like, what are they called, growth hormones? No, not growth hormones. The cells, the uncreated cells that we can use to produce new organs. I'll look it up and I'll have it here. So yeah, anyway, so condensing the Jing, creating piezoelectricity, you can squeeze. Now with muscle, most of us think about gross muscle movement having an action. We flex and we extend the joints. But to condense, you don't move a joint. You just squeeze the bone. And so a lot of it's imagination in the sense of, how am I moving? But you are contracting the muscles. You're just causing them to push in. And that's going to squeeze the bone. And then the bone is going to create a charge. And if you do that through your entire body, you're going to create electricity. And there could be some interesting things behind this. We were talking about the heart, and how when we can imagine joy, we take that feeling and we resonate it out. We explode it through our waters and out into the world. What about the other thoughts that you carry in your mind, that now that you can create a charge and send those thoughts out into the world around you? I don't know what's going to happen. Nor do I know how much electricity you're going to be able to produce, because I don't know how big you are. I don't know how much muscle mass you have. I don't know your bone density. I don't know your imaginative or skill level. And so I can't tell you what's going to occur. But again, my disclaimer is, don't try this around delicate computers. I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen. It might not happen. Nothing might happen. But you might be able to fry a computer, which is perhaps another thing that could be used. If there's a computer you don't like, try it at your own risk and experiment, see what happens. But yeah, piezoelectricity, you make it yourself. Another really cool thing about human bodies, if you want to use it for focused strikes, then you have to learn how to move it in the body. It's not just will, it's movement. You have to train the muscles to move while relaxed. You have to coordinate breath and mind and movement and that condensing. And then you have to learn to relax as you exhale, as you extend. This is how Tai Chi is. You have to practice. Pick up a kata, practice that kata, and learn the technique and move the mind inside of the body. Repeat it so many times that you can do the movement without thinking. It just is the thing that happens. And when it's the thing that happens without you trying, Then you can move the mind in the body. Then you can start the practices of condensing the Jing, because once you start feeling that energy as it rises out of the muscle, or excuse me, out of the bone, then you want to be able to move it through the fascial system. But it's going to take practice, years and years of practice. So find a good teacher, learn Tai Chi, learn how to condense your Jing, practice that. An easy thing to do is to clear space. I mean, that's not a great skill, you're just pushing it out. But again, that's where caution comes in. Don't do it in your computer room. Do it in a room like your bedroom. Don't have a bunch of equipment in there anyway. But, you know, that's a good room to clear out. But yeah, try it. Try it out, see what happens. See what you think. All right, piezoelectricity, condensing your Jing. Cool stuff to know. All right. I'm going to try that. Have a good night. Thanks for watching.